You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
First guest is Maria McCarthy, and she's going to be telling us all about the Teynham Art Day right here at the Monday Night Community Show. Maria, firstly, welcome along to the show. Thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Well, thank you for asking me along.
So I was wondering if we can start off perhaps by you telling us a bit more about the Teynham Art Day this evening.
OK, I'll start by telling you how I came to be involved. I was sitting in Juice and Mugs Cafe in Faversham one day, writing, as I am a writer, and I was sitting there with my notebook, and a gentleman came and said, "Oh, can I join you?" and asked what I was doing, and said that I was a writer, and it turned out that it was Graham Gilbert, who is the chair of the Faversham Festival.
Right.
And he said, "Oh, we'd really like to do some things out in the villages. The festival started just last year, first festival." He said, "We'd really like to do some things out in Teynham." And I said, "Well, I happen to live in Teynham." And we had a 20-minute conversation. He was just going to meet a train in 20 minutes' time. And during that time, we'd planned a day of activities that could be part of the Faversham Festival. So it was just started through a chance meeting. So what it's going to be is a sort of offshoot of Faversham Festival on the first day of the festival, on the 16th of June. And it's a day of activities which will be showcasing local artists' talents and inviting people to come in and take part in the arts. So all sorts of things going on.
Yeah. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself, Maria, as well?
Yes, I'm a writer. I live in Teynham. I write poetry and short fiction. I've also written and broadcast for radio before, and moved to Teynham in 2008, having lived in the Medway towns for 20 years prior to that. And it wasn't long before I was seeking out the local arts scene and getting to know some local people that were involved in visual arts and writing, etc. And so writing's really my biggest thing. And I have a converted shed at the end of our garden where I write. Right. So I'm what's known as a shed worker.
What are the pre-festival events that you are holding?
Right, it's still being finalised at the moment, but we do have the offer of Lucky Moyo, who'll be running a workshop for the children at Teynham Primary School, and leading them in singing songs from Southern Africa and around the world, working with drumming and percussion accompaniment, and be very fortunate to have him there. He's actually involved in some of the events on the Saturday, on the actual Arts Day, because he is, as well as being the artistic director of Swale Sings Choir, he is an international music star that's performed in front of such people as our own Queen and Nelson Mandela. So quite a treat for the school children.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Now, I know we're going to talk a little bit more in detail about some of the events taking place, but I was wondering if we could just have a sort of an overall on the events and activities of the Teynham Art Day.
Sure. It's going to be going on all day and into the evening. There are 3 separate venues in Teynham. There's going to be 2 creative writing workshops at the library in the morning. And then at the community hall, Teynham Community Hall in Station Road, there will be children's activities throughout the morning, then singing and drumming workshop and a gumboot dancing workshop. Alongside all that, there will be a chill-out zone where people can get massages and alternative therapies at low cost with Soul Intentions. And throughout the day, from 10 till 4, the Polka Dot Arts Centre will be holding an exhibition of work by Sue Pito and Colin Barnard, and they work a lot with recycled materials. And then in the evening, very excited about this, we have a lecture and show called Me, Models and Mayhem, which is featuring Steve Allen, who's worked with the Jim Henson workshop. Yep. I'll tell you a bit more about that later.
Maria, I understand you wanted to talk about creative writing.
Yes. As I mentioned earlier, I am a writer, and one of the things that I do from time to time is run creative writing workshops. And on the Teynham Arts Day, I should be running a workshop, and also Luigi Marchini, who is a Faversham-based poet. We are each going to be running workshops. at Teynham Library from 10:30 onwards. Luigi is author of a poetry collection, The Anatomist, and also chair of the Save As Writers group that meets in Canterbury and regularly runs poetry events. And he'll be doing an hour's workshop at the library, trying to spark people's inspiration to write poems. And then after a short break, I'll be leading a workshop in writing fiction. And what I hope to do is to get people imagining a character and a scenario and coming up with an idea of a character and the shape of a short story that then they will go away and write later. And these workshops will be suitable for people that perhaps haven't had a go before at creative writing, or people that are already writing. And we're very grateful to KCC Libraries for hosting this event. As I say, 10:30 to 11:30, Luigi Marchini. 11:45 to 12:45, it'll be me writing fiction. And they're free.
So we are reviewing that interview at the moment with Maria McCarthy, and she's telling us all about the Teynham Arts Day on the 16th of June. And I next asked her what's going to be there for children.
Right, we've got a couple of specific things for children, and they'll be at the community hall starting at 11. We've got 2 workshops being run by Lorraine Cashdan. And the first is suitable for under 5s and will be African and West Indian story songs, and that is at 11 to 11:30. And then following on from that, there'll be a workshop for older children, African and West Indian storytelling and songs, again with Lorraine Cashdan. We hope that parents will need to stay with younger children for those. But in addition to the specific ones, all the afternoon activities are suitable for all the family. So if people want to come along to the other workshops that I'm going to tell you about in a minute, they'll be very welcome.
Now, you're telling me a little bit about singing and drumming earlier. I was wondering if you could share that with our listeners this evening.
Yes, from 12:30 at the community hall, there'll be singing and drumming workshop with Lucky Moyo, who I talked about earlier, and he is the artistic coordinator of Swale Sings Community Choir. So the community choir will be coming along to join in with people that are taking this singing workshop. It's suitable for people that might not have sang in a choir before. You don't need to read music. Lucky just works with you and sings the phrase to you, and you sing it back to him. And by the end of it all, you'll find just that people are singing in 4-part harmonies and using African drums and various percussion. And as a member of Swale Sings, I can just say it's a delightful experience, and he's a very inspiring workshop leader.
Maria, what is gumboot dancing?
Oh, now that's quite difficult to describe. Lucky Moyo, again, will be leading this workshop, following on from the singing and drumming one. And it starts at 2:45 at the community hall in Teynham. And it's basically, I've seen Lucky and his colleagues in Uzambezi Arts do this gumboot dancing. And they basically put on yellow construction hats and wear Wellingtons and do African dancing, which involves bashing the boots and stamping and high kicks. And the best way to find out about this is if you go to YouTube and look up Lucky Moyo gumboot dancing or Uzambezi Arts gumboot dancing, then you can see a demonstration of this. And it's I believe that they ran a workshop at the Broadstairs Folk Week a couple of years ago, and it was very popular. A lot of people came along, so it's going to be a lot of fun and quite energetic, I should think.
So what else is going to be there?
Right. Throughout the day from 10:30 to 2:30, there's a chill-out zone where Soul Intentions, who Karen West, who's a Teynham-based complementary therapist, will be having a presence at the community hall and offering massage treatments at low cost. So You know, if you've brought your child to one of the workshops and want to go and have an Indian head massage, I'm sure that she'll oblige. There's also an art exhibition on all day from 10 o'clock till 4 at the Polka Dot Art Centre in London Road in Teynham, and that's an exhibition by Sue Pito and Colin Barnard. Their work's concerned with recycling and environmental issues, and all the stuff for the exhibition will be produced specifically for the festival and for Recycling Week, which is during the 18th to 22nd of June. And their studios, gallery and sculpture garden will be open, and their range of recycled products will be available for sale called Absolute Rubbish. And in the evening, there's the Me Models and Mayhem show, which is a show by Steve Allen, and he worked for the Jim Henson Workshop, famous for the Muppets, and he also created prototypes for characters in the film Labyrinth and designed toys to recreate the worlds of Thunderbirds, Wallace and Gromit, The Simpsons and Star Wars. So he'll be talking about his career in puppetry, muppetry and model making, and introducing a brand new puppet character called Max Underdog. So that is a talk and a show. There will also be someone from the Magic Circle there performing some tricks, and that's suitable for adults and children aged 10 and over. That's at 7:30 in the community hall. That is a ticketed event. All the other events during the day are free, but this is a ticketed event that tickets cost £8 from the Faversham Festival box office, and there'll be a bar available, plus a raffle featuring prizes donated from many of our local sponsors.
Maria, before you go, I was just wondering if you could give out any useful contact details where listeners can find out more, and of course just refresh them where and when the event is on.
Okay. Teynham Arts Day takes place on the 16th of June, starting at 10:30 in the morning up until about 10 o'clock at night, and takes place at 3 different venues in Teynham, at the library, the community hall in Station Road, and at the Polka Dot Art Centre. If people want to find out more, the best place to look is the Faversham Festival website, which is www.favershamfestival.org.uk, and there are pages relating to the daytime activities for Teynham Arts Day, and more information about Me Models and Mayhem. Now, as I mentioned, all the events are free except the evening one, which is a ticketed event. Me Models and Mayhem costs £8 to get in, and you can get tickets from the Faversham Festival box office, which is in the Alexander Centre in Preston Street, Faversham. You also said that perhaps if I gave out my own website details to people wanted to look at any of if you want to come to my writing workshop and know a little bit more. I also advertise quite a few local arts events around Medway, Swale and Canterbury on the site, and the web address is www.medwaymaria.co.uk. I also have another site relating to my book and publishing, culturedllama.co.uk, as in the creature llama with 2 L's, and my Twitter feed is @culturedllama, and I'll be tweeting about the Arts Day in the next few weeks.
Maria, I'd like to thank you very much for coming along this evening, and of course telling listeners all about the Teynham Arts Day.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for having me.